Hello, peoples of the internet. Today I am in my car. I have a, fast minute here to share some information. Surrounded by nature and birds and so many beautiful trees. And we'll just welcome their frequencies into the conversation. And I was thinking today I would touch on the concept of forgiveness and forgiving. So my concept of forgiveness is probably different than some people's, and also the same as some people's. And it has to do with the information that I've received around what forgiving is. And this information came in maybe 3 or 4 years ago. My sense of time is 0. So I'm going to guess it was around that time. Could have been 5 years ago too. But time in this time period is literally beginning to shift. We're going through a time of space where movement's different than it was in the past. And so time seems like it's quickening because this space is different than the space we were traveling through before. And so a lot of people think, wow, time's going so fast, it's moving so fast. And it is a quickening of movement. And it does have sort of an illusion of moving faster, or it is actually moving at a quicker speed. And especially this year, because we're in the fire horse, and the fire horse year is like horses are fast and fire is fast. So we have a quickening happening in this time period. And if we can jump on the fire horse, so when we get internal guidance, if we can jump on the fire horse, we'll be brought there quickly. However, if we miss the looping of a choice or a decision, you'll see that it comes around really quick, and it might be 3 months later, and you're like, oh darn, I was going to do this 3 months ago. And it's going to loop back around. And if it does, jump on it then. So jump on that fire horse, because if you get on it, it's like you're being assisted getting there. Literally, the horse will bring you there. So you'll have assistance in completion of these sort of creative ideas that are popping up in the fire horse. These are those new choices that I've been talking about, or old choices that we didn't make, that we're being asked to make to sort of slingshot us down the pathway that is going to bring us to our greatest joy and our greatest happiness. So tied into that is this idea of forgiveness. And I'd had a vision a few years ago where I had seen this golden light and a white light. And I knew that one of the lights was like Jesus energy, and one of the lights was God energy. And when I came to the space of that light, I remember just being like, whoa, this is a powerful light. Like, I just felt immediate reverence to the light. And the light had said to me, Lisa, you need to forgive all of the things that happened in your past. You need to forgive it. You need to let it go. And I did that. And then it said to me, okay, Lisa, you need to forgive yourself for all the things that you did, or for all of the, pain or suffering that I was a part of, or anything I did that was inappropriate, or anything that wasn't in alignment with myself. And I was like, oh, I felt like immediately like, guilt or shame. And the Godsource was, they kind of were laughing at me, because they were like, you think we weren't already there? Like, we were already there. We've already seen it. And then I was like, okay, well, please forgive me. I asked for forgiveness, and I asked them for forgiveness of all of these things. And when I did, the Godsource showed me these like 2 pebbles in my hand. And literally that was like only how much stuff I had to be forgiven for. And in my mind, it was like a mountain. And I was like, oh no, they're going to see the mountain of terribleness. Right? And literally it was like 2 pebbles. And then we kind of had a good laugh. Now, after this experience, I had another experience with a neighbor that I had at that time, around that time. And the neighbor that I had was really trying to come at me because I had a new puppy and was, complaining a lot and calling in bylaw and stuff like that. And so I was like super angry, and I was just like, God, this is so annoying. Like, why don't you just come talk to me like a neighbor? Like, why do you have to go behind my back and do these things? We could just work through it easily together. And he wouldn't. And so I remember one day I was driving away from the house and I was like, oh man, I hope he falls in a hole. And the Godsource said to me, Lisa, you hope I fall in a hole? And I was like, what? No, I don't hope you fall in a hole. I love you. And the Godsource said, what do you think is inside of that man? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. No, I don't. Fine. I hope he doesn't fall in a hole. and then the Godsource says to me, because I was so full of anger, the Godsource says, okay, Lisa, give your anger to me. And I was like, okay. And the Godsource says, when you give your anger to me and you alchemize that space inside yourself, basically what I'm doing is forgiving. So what the Godsource said to me, forgiveness means is that you give it to the Godsource. It's for giving away. That's what you're meant to do. You give it over. And when I give it over and I alchemize it, then I leave it up to the Godsource to, do karma or whatever the heck the Godsource is going to do in its own way, instead of me thinking that it's my job to do that, to do violence back, or, to put out these thoughts, even violent thoughts, like, I hope you fall in a hole, right? And then so I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, okay, God, I give you this anger and this rage and, my frustration and my annoyance, and I alchemize these spaces. I love myself even here. But I said, but if I'm giving this to you, you need to know how angry it makes me and how, annoyed and frustrated and how much it's impacting me. I need you to know that if I'm going to be giving it to you. And the Godsource says, yes, Lisa, okay. And then what I'm doing is putting my trust in the Godsource. So remember I said in the past, trust is only for you, right? And really, truly, it is just for you. You can trust yourself to take care of yourself, to tend to yourself, to love yourself, to never abandon yourself, right? But I can also trust that the Godsource will do with it whatever is up to it, because it's its stuff, not mine. It's that human over there is its business, not my business. I'm not a God here. It's not my job to go and make this right and, make the person suffer or any of those things. That's the Godsource's job. And actually, when I try to do those things myself, I'm actually stepping on the Godsource's toes. I'm stepping on the Godsource's feet. And I don't want to do that. That's where I'll get karma. And I don't want that karma. I don't want to have to pay those prices for being stuck in an emotion. And you'll remember I was also talking about in a prior video about these sort of record players that the humans get stuck in. So there's record players that go round and around. So when we go down to the deeper emotional spaces, which is the down pattern, so anger and rage is pretty low, below, and that record of anger and rage is going to be like, make it right, go and make them pay, things like that are going to be in there, because that's what the humans have done in the past, and that's what the collective has done in the past. But that's me being stagnated in an emotion and then acting from fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, which is a fear program. program. And I'm not going to do that. So what I need to be able to do is I need to give this to the God source. And then I'm going to clear it from myself. So it has nothing to do with me forgiving the other person, because obviously when people do horrifying, horrible things, I'm not going to forgive them, but I'm going to give this to the God source so that my body is clear of it. Because why am I paying the price in my body for something that someone did that was inappropriate outside of me? Like, that's their thing to pay for, not me. But if I'm walking around full of rage and anger and pain and suffering, my body is paying the price. Two little squirrels just run across the street and they're so cute. They had a little nut in their mouth. So we're getting some squirrel energy here. I love that. And squirrel things away, and we don't want to squirrel it away. We want to give it to the God source. Right? Don't put it inside your body where you're going to pay a price for it. Alchemize and love yourself even there. Give yourself the medicine even there. And it's okay to be angry for a time, but love yourself through it and give it over to the God source. Here, God, I give this to you because it's not mine. It's yours. You're the one that can do something about it. I can't do anything about it. And the God source has all different ways of taking care of situations. They might bring light into that person. And when somebody gets light into them, just like when we get light into us, it's like a punch. It's like, ooh, ow, right? And then they shift. And really on this human plane of existence, don't we want us all to shift so that we don't have to deal with this like bullshit anymore, with people that are hurting and violating. We don't want that anymore. So yeah, heck yeah, if you make them shift, that's awesome and amazing. Do it, right? But whatever the God source does is its business. It's not ours. So I don't even have to care. I'm not going to give any of my life force to that. I'm not going to care. But what I am going to give my life force to is loving myself into wholeness. So another thing it taught me a while ago was about what it called quantum forgiveness. And quantum forgiveness is a state where we quantum forgive an experience. So when I do quantum forgiveness, and those are the kinds of forgivenesses I access when something terrible happens, I'll say, I quantum forgive that this happens on the earth plane. I quantum forgive that this happened to me. I quantum forgive that people do this here. I quantum forgive that the humans are trapped in programs that are creating this on the earth plane. I quantum forgive the suffering. I quantum forgive that this happened to the earth plane, to the nature as well as to me. I quantum forgive that humans do this to nature. So I do the bigger quantum forgiving of it because that, number one, it begins to clear that out of me, and it begins to bring me back to the 0 point, back to love and harmonic frequency in me. It's me taking back my power. And number two, I'm forgiving the universe. I'm forgiving, remember, she's a female, right? I'm forgiving her for unfolding how it's unfolded, and I'm forgiving the God source for all of the choices that we're inside of this experience that we're existing within, and that some people make bad choices or that sometimes painful things happen here. I'm unconditionally loving it and forgiving that this is happening here. And by doing that, I'm tapping unconditional love inside myself. So I'll also teach you a quick technique that I've been taught, and I was again taught this technique around the time that the rest of this information was coming in. And this technique is, I like to call it the bubble of light. But what the God source said to me is, when something bad has happened in your life, Lisa, when you have a memory of something that was, it's not bad, it's just an experience in the God source's eyes, right? But it doesn't feel good to the human being. Right? My soul enjoys all the experiences, but the human being does not like certain experiences. It doesn't feel good for a human, right? The human feels fear, panic, terror, pain, suffering, right? So the human feels all those things. And when we have an experience where the human felt that way, So if I have a betrayal in my past, or if I've been violated in my past, or I have a loss in my past, these are traumas that people can't let go of. They haven't fully processed the trauma, or they haven't been able to give themselves love in that space, love and safety in that space. And so complex post-traumatic stress disorder is going to create visions or memories of things that happened in the past, because that's your human trying to integrate that experience into your wholeness. And when those things arise, the key is to ground ourselves into ourself, into our self today, into our modern self. Somebody was just walking by, but a dad and 2 kids. It was so cute. We need to ground ourselves into ourself, our today self, when those memories come up. And when I ground myself into my today self, I can see the memory as something out there. That's my past self. That's something that happened in my history. And I can say, yeah, that's causing me fear, panic, terror, or sadness, or whatever the heck that's making me feel. Those are the places that didn't receive the love. So from my today self, I can see it over there, like I'm watching it on a TV, or like I'm watching it unfold, like I'm a watcher to this experience. And I can see what happened there. But what I'm going to want to do is put a bubble around that experience. From the moment it started until the moment it ended, I'm going to put a bubble around the experience, and I'm just going to see it inside the bubble. I don't have to replay it. I don't have to go through the whole thing. I just have to know it's there, and I have to stay in the state of love for myself and see it over there and put that bubble around it. And then the next step is I quantum forgive that this happened in my life. I quantum forgive that this happens to humans. I'm quantum forgive that I wasn't able to give myself love at that time. I quantum forgive that this, that this happened to my human, I quantum forgive, and forgive some more. And forgive, when you say I quantum forgive it, I quantum forgive this experience, those are codes, and they begin to clear them already. They begin to integrate them, process them, and clear them. And we do that for ourselves. I'm doing that for me because I deserve that. And that bubble, now I start to send unconditional love into that bubble. From my present self to my past self, I send love into the bubble. And I quantum forgive whatever occurred there. I quantum forgive that I didn't know how to get away. I quantum forgive that I've held this for so long. I quantum forgive that this has caused sickness in my body. I quantum forgive that, that people do this to each other. All of those things. And I'm sending unconditional love into that bubble. And then when I feel like that's completed, I just say, thank you, God, for showing that to me. Thank you, Godsource. Thank you, higher self. Thank you for angels, ancestors, elementals, for showing me that memory that needed my love and care and attention, needed me to step back and heal it. And I choose to heal it, and I let it go. I let it go. I let it go. And the Godsource will take that love that was put into that experience, and it will cleanse it itself. So you don't have to do it. The Godsource will do it just by you doing this process. It will clear it for you. So who gets the love is none of my business. So it's going to go into the earth. It's going to go into myself that was in that experience. It might even go into the other human, but again, in the way that the Godsource is going to do what the Godsource needs to do to shift that. And so it could be karma. It could be, again, they get a big punch. Whatever happens, it's not up to me. It's not my business. My business is just slowing down, stepping back, putting the bubble of love around that, the bubble around it, and sending love into the bubble. Don't look at the memory, just love into the bubble. We don't have to replay the old memories. That just makes it dig into the pain space. What we do need to do is we need to acknowledge and validate that it happened. We need to see it over there. We need to know that it's in that bubble. We need to send the love and healing into that bubble. And then we just need to let it go. And the likelihood that this will come up for you again is very low. And if it comes up again for you, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to step out of it and you're going to say, I am the savior I've been looking for. I was the one that was always going to heal this. And I'm sorry at that point I didn't know how to heal it, but I know how to heal it now. And I'm going to heal it because I deserve healing. Again, you didn't create that experience. And maybe in some cases you did create that experience, and you're wanting to clear it from your history. But if you're looking at an experience you created, then in most cases you've healed since then. You've learned, you did something different. And so you have a right to heal those spaces too. So for example, maybe I stole something from a store and I feel guilty or ashamed about that. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to step back and I'm going to say, my present self sees that. It's okay that these things happened. I'm a human being. I quantum forgive that I'm a human. I quantum forgive I didn't know any different or any better. I quantum forgive that happened in my life. I quantum forgive that however I impacted the store or the people, I forgive it, and I forgive it some more. I let it go and I send love into that bubble and I disintegrate the memories back to dust. I disintegrate the pain back to dust. I don't have to do that anymore. I can clear it and I can let it go. And like I was saying, if it comes up again, do it again. Usually once or twice, and it actually disappears. It's not like the memory disappears, but the emotion attached to the memory disappears. And you can look at it from a distance then. And you're just like, oh, that was a part of my existence. That happened at one point and I've cleared it and I've healed it. And it was in the past. And what you have to know too, is that if you're here today watching a memory of the past, you've already saved yourself. You're already your own savior. You made it through that somehow. You saved yourself. Somehow you got through that and you're here today. Like, holy moly, I'm amazing. I'm awesome. I saved myself. You're the one with the cape. Somehow you did that. And it's honoring and respecting what you did there. Did you do it perfectly? Maybe not in your mind, but it is actually perfect anyways, because if you made it through it, that's what makes it perfect. Nothing is perfect on the human plane of existence. It's all lessons. It's all learning. It's all growth. It's all expansion. And we can love ourselves in growth and expansion. We can love ourselves even there. I'm not going to give my energy to perfection that's just going to berate me and hate me and say I'm not good enough. That's a power program, and I take back my power from that now, because there is no perfection. There's just growth. There's just expansion. There's just learning. And in growth, expansion, and learning, I can have my back and love myself into wholeness and think I'm pretty awesome and amazing. Heck yeah. Okay. I'm going to clear those old programs, those old modes of functioning, those old ways of existing. We can try to clear all those things that I gave to God and to Jesus, like, please forgive me. I forgive my history because I don't want to carry it forward. I just want to let it go. I want to neutralize, harmonize, and alchemize the spaces that I want to neutralize, harmonize, and alchemize, or that I need neutralized and harmonized and alchemized, so that my energy, my focus, my life force frequency isn't going to those spaces anymore, but it's going to the present moment where I can do all kinds of magical things with my own choice. Yeah, I want that. God, please help us with that. When we clear, cleanse, heal, neutralize, harmonize, and alchemize these old modes of functioning, these old ways of existing, these old ways of being in the human body, these old ways of believing around what forgiving is. Sorry about the banging. There's someone doing mail just behind me here. So I clear, cleanse, and heal all of that through all quantum fields of existence, including all of the things that I need to forgive and that I need to clear from my mind, body, spirit, and soul. I'm ready to clear and forgive and neutralize, harmonize, and alchemize those spaces now. I'm ready to give those to the Godsource. I'm ready to give those back. I'm ready to give those experiences back so that they can be fully and completely healed from my mind, body, spirit, and soul. And I want to be able to do that. And if somebody taught me that forgiving means I have to forgive the other person, hell no, you don't ever have to forgive the other person. You just need to heal the experience out of yourself. You need to give it to the Godsource, where the Godsource will do that work. And the Godsource told me too, if that person's ever trying to, get forgiven for the experience, if you give it away, they have to go through the Godsource to be able to clear it. Then it has nothing left to do with you, and you never have to think about it one more day of your life. You can just clear it from your mind, body, spirit, and soul. And God, please help me to do that. I want to do that. I want to clear all of that from my mind, body, spirit, and soul, including those mindsets, modes of functioning, ways of existing, trigger points, karma spaces where I held on to it and I thought, oh, I have to pay. No, I need love in those spaces. I was learning, I was shifting, I was growing. I want to clear that so that I can continue to expand, continue to bring more light into my body, continue to be creative, continue to act from alignment of myself. I want to let those spaces go. I want to neutralize, harmonize, and alchemize them back to dust, because I deserve to be healed. I deserve to be cleared. I deserve to be healed. And when I heal, the planet heals. When I heal, this universe heals. And I want that, God. And please help me to clear these spaces from my mind, body, spirit, and soul, past the DNA and RNA and into the God space of first creation, including frozen pain spaces, internal dynamics, external dynamics, trigger points, memories, frozen pain spaces, contracts, binds, barriers, including contracts that I made with myself in past lifetimes. If I can clear them as well, yes, I want to clear them so that I can begin to have freedom in the moment, begin to make my choices out of freedom in the moment. And I neutralize, harmonize, and alchemize all of that now through all quantum fields of existence, including the DNA and RNA. I disintegrate the old DNA and RNA back to dust, and I initiate the new, and I reconfigure for each unique blueprint. I purify those spaces. I purify those spaces, and I remember that all I have to do is give it over to God. All I have to do is give it to the Creator, who will take care of it. It's not even mine, and my body doesn't have to pay a price. So also, God, please heal my body. Please heal those parts of my body, like the spider back, right? Shoulders, neck, skull, scalp, brain, right? Chest, ribs, stomach, right? Wrists, shoulders, hips, guts, womb, genitals, buttocks, right? Legs, knees, feet, whatever part of my body needs the healing. Where I held this, I choose to heal it. I choose to let it go. I choose to allow it to disintegrate out of me. I allow my purification systems, my natural purification systems, to let this go. That's sweating, yawning, peeing, pooping, right? Those are my natural purification systems, and I allow them to clear my body and to clear my glands. Glands are meant to move. I allow them to clear the lymph node systems. I allow them to allow me to let it go. And as I learn to let it go, I learn to allow my body to circulate, my energy to circulate through my body, my blood system to flow properly, my hormones to get into balance. I allow my body to be in full connection and full communication, and my cells and my bones. We hold a lot of trauma in our bones, muscles, tissue, our ligaments, right? Our connective tissue. I clear it some more. And if I can clear it from my DNA and RNA, which may have initiated things like arthritis or asthma or migraines, any of these things that it created in my body, I want to clear that too. All the way back to the God source. I neutralize, harmonize, and alchemize all drama, karma, trauma, pulling out the drama, Drama, karma, trauma, pulling out the dharma. Clearing, cleansing, and healing from the cellular, energetic, and magnetic structures, and from the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious minds, pulling all of that through to oneness, to wholeness, to peace, to truth, to love. Welcoming those helper frequencies and helper beings into these spaces to help me to stretch out into these spaces and to alchemize them fully and completely. What the Godsource told me about trauma spaces is it's like a dark room in your house, because you're holding trauma in your house, in your body, and you're scared of that room. It's got a monster at the door, and you're like, I can't go in that room. Oh my God, it's so scary. It's dark. But as soon as you turn on the light switch, you're like, oh, wait a minute. It's just a room with some crap in it that I need to get rid of. Some boxes that are mostly empty. Like, I don't have to be scared of this room. It's just a part of my house. It's just a part of my body. And I can clear that. And when I clear it, then the light stays on. And you can access that space. And you can choose how you want to decorate that room. You can choose how you want to utilize that part of your body for growth and expansion and magic. Yeah, God, I want that. Please clear those old programs. Please clear those mindsets, those ways of existing from my mind, body, spirit, and soul, and allow those collective healed helpers to continue to access and clear those spaces so that I can utilize them as I move forward in good ways. I release through the children and up through the ancestral webs, past lifetimes and their webs, and for the collective universal who are open to it at this time, including all planetary systems and on all sides of the veil, including this universe and the multiverses. And what the Godsource is showing me is that when we clear out that room, when we clear out that part of our body, when we clear it from our mind, body, spirits, and souls, we begin to not have so much split focus. So when we have those things there, it's like a piece of us is split off there. And we want to bring that focus into our center of self, into our consciousness. So we're going to gain consciousness when we can clear these spaces, because it's not being used in that old space. And when we do that, we have more power in the moment to move forward freely. We have more life force frequency to create the world we want to create, and to create our own universe around us, and we can use that focus to move forward in these beautiful ways. And yeah, I want that. Please help me with that, God. And please pull in that fractalized focus as you heal these spaces, return that focus to my center of self so that I have more focus to enjoy the beauties of this existence, to enjoy my relationships with my loved ones, with my pets, with my plants, with my crystals, with nature, with the communities that I'm involved in, going on trips and enjoying the novelty of that nature. Yes, I want that. Please help me with that. Please continue to disintegrate these old modes of functioning and these old ways of existing. And I quantum forgive that we didn't know any better, that we've been holding that for so long, that our body paid a price. I quantum forgive that those things happened here. I quantum forgive that the humans didn't teach us how to heal these. I quantum forgive that I didn't know how to heal these. I quantum forgive that humans did these things to each other. I quantum forgive that humans held this for so long. I forgive it, and I forgive it some more. And I purify back to the Godsource origins. And I welcome those collective healed helpers, those beings of light, those doctors, healers, and nurses in all realms of existence to continue to purify and alchemize these spaces and drop us into those original blueprints, those original codes, and to continue these healings until completed. So that's them altering your body, your brain, clearing it so that those pathways aren't there anymore, so that you can be freed. And God, I choose to be freed. I choose this. Right? Thank you, healed helpers. And thank you to those beings of light, your team of light, your angels, ancestors, and elementals that are here with you, helping you, guiding you, holding loving space for you through it all, including God and Jesus, who were literally there with you through it all. They see all things. You're not hiding it by tucking it away. They already saw it. You're just paying the price with your body. And you don't have to do that. You don't deserve that. You deserve to be healed, and you deserve to be free. And Source Code Mother, please help us with this. And so much gratitude to the helper beings that are reminding us of this when we need them the most. I love myself even here. I'm safe even here. Wait, what did Lisa say? I can do the bubble thing. I can just give this to the Godsource. I can clear my own self. please continue to remind me of this. We're in a human with a tiny brain. It takes a lot of practice. And we clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now through all quantum fields, and we're opening to receive for best and highest well-being. With the most ultimate of love and gratitude, I choose this. So I choose this and breathe. Good etheric breath there, intending it coming from the ethers. Feels good. And Source God Mother, I ask that you immediately evolute my systems. And as you do this part, do it not only just for me, but for the bubble of light that's around me, for, as far out as my heart goes, as far out as I can purify and connect into nature. I ask that you immediately evolute our systems for best and highest well-being of the systems within us and the systems around us, including the frequencies of our feet, so that we're upgrading the frequencies of our feet, so that as we really ground down into our own feet, our body's able to get everything that it needs. It brings us to that 0 point of calm and peace and presence. And as we access that space, we're able to access creativity and love and safety and peace. And root us into this universe and into the multiverses, so that we're exchanging that life force frequency, healing codes, knowledge, wisdom, love, of the plant, animal, mineral kingdoms. I love you. Thank you. And we clear, cleanse, and fractalize those healings throughout my mind, body, spirit, and soul. And I clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now through all quantum fields, and I'm opening to receive for best and highest well-being. So again, I choose this and breathe. So part of the magic of this work is that when I do these healings, like right now I'm sitting in this piece of nature. So when I clear all this piece of nature gets clearings at the same time. And so also when I do the bubble of love and I send unconditional love into the bubble of love, as I love myself in the present self, I can love that bubble of love in the past and disintegrate everything that was, held in the body or held in the brain and causing pain and suffering to the body. As I clear all of that, number one, I heal the nature of that moment. So wherever I was in nature gets the healing that may be stagnated there. And then where I am in the present moment, watching that in the past, I'm also healing this space. So as we do healings, we don't just benefit, so does the nature around us. And that's where it's like huge pats on the back. Way to go. You're doing something amazing. And some of us, that's what we came here to do. We came here to impact this existence, to help us to move forward freely, to move in freedom, to awaken freedom, to collapse the old mode of functioning, the reversal of the slavery matrix, so that we can begin to access freedom. And some of us have been here hundreds of lifetimes trying to do this. And this is the lifetime we're doing it. Guys, this is so awesome. Yay, celebrate us. All of us. And nature too, because we love her. So let me know how that went for you. If you're feeling a little lightheaded, just ground me to my feet. If you need a little extra love, please trigger my vagus nerve now. Trigger my vagus nerve. Feels so good. Yeah, burst of energy. I can feel it just. Mother love. Thank you, body. I appreciate that mother love. And let me know what you think about this. Please feel free to comment below. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll try to follow up with some of those questions in other videos. If there's other videos that you have in mind or that you would like me to talk about, please also comment that. And like, share, ring that bell, and send to other people that you think can use it. And I hope we all find the peace we need and we deserve. And until next time, I'll see you later. You take care.